Meghan Markle believed she had everything under control. Season 2 of With Love, Meghan, or insiders joked, Season 1, Part 2, was supposed to be her triumphant return, a fresh chapter in her own voice. But instead of a homecoming, the test screening quickly turned into an unfiltered public unraveling. What was meant as ordinary feedback became a raw, emotional breakdown. Netflix went into crisis mode, and executives scrambled behind closed doors. It began when the audience began sharing harsh truths. This wasn't polite applause, it was brutal honesty. The show was branded dull, self-centric, and insincere. Some viewers called Meghan herself phony and manipulative. And this was an off-record chatter or anonymous notes. These critiques were voiced directly to her during a live Q&A. That's when it all fell apart. Rather than maintain composure like most stars might, Meghan broke down. She cried, asking the audience to understand the themes of empowerment, feminism, and confronting toxic masculinity. Her tone shifted from calm to pleading. She begged them to rethink their feedback. The energy in the room turned desperate. This was not a PR stumble, it was a full meltdown. Producers, caught off guard, tried to remove her from the stage. But Meghan rushed back before they could act. She grabbed the mic again, even more emotional, still tearing up, pleading for a second chance at understanding. Audience members squirmed in their seats. Some even walked out before the session ended. The discomfort was palpable. While this was happening live, Netflix executives Ted Sarandos and Greg Peters watched the meltdown unfold. According to sources, they were stunned. This wasn't the image they envisioned for a headline show. They hoped for a redemption story. Instead, they got chaos. Afterward, Meghan's manager stepped in and removed her from the stage. Once things settled, Netflix reacted swiftly. No more live Q&A sessions, not for Meghan, not for this series. All remaining screenings would be silent, edited only. Sarandos reportedly told staff the incident was not just embarrassing, it was unacceptable. That comment carried extra weight because he originally endorsed the Q&A format. Behind closed doors, Meghan was attempting damage control. She's said to be pleading for a third season, hoping a contract renewal might help repair the damage. But sources suggest her leverage with Netflix is evaporating. Whatever influence she once had over Sarandos seems to be fading. Her performance at the screening didn't just raise eyebrows, it might have sealed her fate. Meanwhile, production is bleeding money. Reshoots, editing delays, new cuts, all stacking up into unexpected millions. And for what? A series that may never recover from the public breakdown. Hollywood insiders are already whispering. Studios like Paramount and Disney are reportedly distancing themselves. Meghan's once promising return now looks more like a closing act. The fallout extended beyond Netflix. Word spread fast across Hollywood. Agents, producers, execs talked not only because it was dramatic, but because the volatility was unnerving. No one wants to back talent who might derail a promo event by crying mid-conversation and commandeering the mic without warning. Inside Netflix, the mood shifted overnight. Sarandos, once her staunchest backer, suddenly went quiet. Meghan reportedly had direct input with him. Now he avoids one-on-one contact. Staffers were told to funnel everything through her manager. The tone shifted to clinical updates, no warmth or nuance. To make matters worse, the show's metrics weren't helping. Netflix had already studied With Love, Meghan Season 1. Despite spin attempts, viewership was weak given the high production and marketing budget. When the real numbers leaked to stakeholders, the picture was grim. The series underperformed across demographics. Season 2, or really Season 1 Part 2, was meant to fix all of that. New footage, cleaner edits, a more relatable tone. The kitchen scenes were reshot to feel casual and personal. But the test screening made it clear. None of it changed the core problem. Audiences just didn't connect with Meghan, and when she accused them of betrayal on stage, it cemented that divide. That Q&A meltdown wasn't just awkward, it was a turning point. Her PR team, damage control, kicked in quickly. Quiet outreach, began select podcasts, lifestyle outlets, and a few influencer-friendly YouTube creators were contacted in hopes of putting out sympathetic stories, portraying Meghan as overwhelmed, not unstable. But public perception wasn't the only problem. Industry reaction was even worse. A-listers began pulling away. One prominent actress reportedly refused a guest spot on Meghan's upcoming project, calling it career suicide. Meanwhile, Meghan was still clinging to hopes of a renewal. She told herself and those around her that one more season would redeem everything. In truth, she still had a bit of pull left. She tried invoking old connections, reminding Netflix's Ted Sarandos of earlier promises and shared vision. She name-dropped past collaborators and hinted at former plans. But none of it stuck. Inside Netflix, the mood had shifted. Executives just wanted to move forward, wrap up test screenings quietly, release the season without much press, then bury it under bigger, safer titles. Her campaign for a third season has been met with radio silence. Behind closed doors, Insiders admit the only reason the show hasn't been scrapped is because of the money already sunk. They're trying to salvage what little they can, and Meghan knows it. Her behavior has grown increasingly frantic. The collapse of the show is symbolic of something bigger, her place in the industry. She's watching high-level meetings disappear, offers dry up, and her name removed from shortlists. Studios like Disney and Paramount, once willing to take her calls, have turned away. Even indie producers are steering clear. The narrative around Meghan has changed. She's now seen as unstable, high risk, and in Hollywood, risk is worse than failure. At Netflix, her name has all but vanished from internal discussions. What began as a prestige partnership has shifted to damage control. One producer confided, "The mood has become containment mode, no new press, no upcoming media appearances, just silent withdrawal. The few remaining screenings are being held in total silence. No panels, no cast talks, just quiet rooms and post-show surveys. The goal is clear, finish the job with as little noise as possible." Even Ted Sarandos, once her most vocal advocate, has reportedly stopped defending the show. His enthusiasm is gone, replaced by professional detachment. He's moved on, and so has the rest of the company. Still, Meghan refuses to give up. She's calling in favors, reaching out to online personalities, indie executives, even startups. She's framing the backlash as a resistance to powerful female voices, claiming she's a target for being outspoken. But the argument isn't gaining traction. Too many people witnessed the meltdown firsthand. Too many stories have leaked. Now, no one wants to be the one to gamble on her. One particularly telling sign came recently. A niche studio known for taking chances on controversial figures quietly rejected her pitch for a not with a formal no, but with silence. That's the industry's message now. Not dramatic rejection, just complete indifference. And there's still the budget crisis. Netflix has already poured millions into cleaning up the mess reshoots, rewrites, crisis PR. Every tweak adds to the loss. With the series now seen as a damaged brand, no one is looking to license it overseas or spin it off. It's dead weight, and everyone knows it. Still, Meghan is reportedly weighing her next move. Some say she's considering self-funding future content, releasing it on YouTube, or launching her own platform with the help of tech backers. She's had early talks with entrepreneurs about building a brand from scratch. But none of that solves the bigger issue, her reputation. Audiences don't trust her right now, and rebuilding trust in the entertainment world takes time she might not have. Her allies are fewer. Her windows are closing. The relationship with Sarandos is practically non-existent now. Once photographed side by side at premieres, they haven't spoken directly in weeks. Emails have become formal. Communications are now routed through legal teams. Her team floated one final idea, a sit-down interview, filmed and friendly. To reframe the narrative, Netflix instantly rejected the proposal. No more live risks. The industry is watching this implosion play out like a case study in reputational collapse. Meghan was handed an opportunity, a massive stage, total creative control, and institutional support. Somehow, it all fell apart. There's still a faint hope the season finds viewers when it eventually drops. But even if it does, Meghan's image has taken a lasting hit. In Hollywood, few survive a public unraveling like this. And for Meghan Markle, woman who once captivated global attention, the spotlight has turned cold.